Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fifth episode of the Most Entertaining Podcast. I'm your host for this episode, Tobi Olagesin, and joining me today is Tolu, a music producer and a fellow Manchester United fan, and as well as our producer for the TME podcast, Aanu. Welcome, guys. How you doing today?
Yo, good.
Fantastic, my bro.
Happy to be
How
here.
are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's been a long week, but happy to meet you guys again and talk about some football. So great, let's get into it. Today we're going to be discussing rebuilding the great Manchester United, GGMU. All right, guys. So it's been not the best season for United, probably the best, one of the worst rather, in most of people who are alive's history. So we're gonna be trying to, go underneath the hood, look at the Manchester United setup, and see what we can do to get them up and running to contest not for the league, but maybe a top four, top six, top eight finish next season. So here's what we're gonna do. The assumption is Manchester United will have 100 million to spend this summer, based on some of the moves that we see them looking. A striker in Hugo Ekitike, and an attacking midfielder slash winger in Brian Mbeumo. So added to that, we're going to have 40 million for the assumed sales of one, Marcus Rashford, and two, 20 million from a sale of Jadon Sancho. Obviously, a lot of people will think that United will have more than this 160 we've put together, but we have to consider a few things. One, obviously, United didn't have a great finish last season, so revenue that they would have gotten from a higher league position or qualifying for Europe is not available to them. And some of the things that I've heard is that some of their sponsorship agreements will not have the same amount of weight as they've had in previous years. So, of course, this is going to affect the amount of money they will be able to spend, coupled up with the fact that one of their new owners, Jim Ratcliffe, mentioned sometime last year that with the plans for the team and trying to create a new stadium, United isn't necessarily flush with cash. And if you consider PSR as well, there are so many things that are holding back Manchester United from spending 200, 300 million and coming back to compete right now. So it's going to have to be a slow and steady rebuild job and trying to get them back into that superpower that we know Manchester United can be. So 160 is going to be our budget. The positions we'll be focusing on today are a striker, an attacking midfielder, aka a number 10, a central midfielder, but more in the build of an 8, so a number 8, and a right wing back. So we're going to try and spread out 160 million across these four positions, and then we're going to discuss all the players that we're going to bring up and see if Manchester United and Ruben Amorim can take the team back to where they're supposed to be at the upper half of the Premier League table. So each person on the panel will have a player suggestion for each position and how much they will likely cost. But it's really important that we stay under budget. If not, we're gonna get sacked. So let's try and follow the rules and do what our owners have asked us to do. Bring this club back for 160 M. So the process is gonna be we'll go through each position one at a time. It will be me first, Tolu second, then Anu last, and we'll just keep going through all the different positions. We'll discuss topics that come up and see if we did a good job at the end. So starting off at the biggest point of discussion this summer is the number 9. Many teams all across the leagues are looking for that new number 9 and striker that will elevate them to the new to a new position. I think what's interesting is like 5 years ago there was discussion how the number 9 market is dried up. I think it was more of a changing of the guards from an old era to a new era. The likes of the Cavani's, the Higuain's, the Benzemas, the Lewandowski's were coming out of the game. Although we still see a lot of them performing at the top level, Lewandowski, for example, all those names that I rattled off, yet this is not their time anymore, and we're molding into a new space of strikers. It was a little bit scary though, because people were worried where are the strikers, with Chelsea going for someone like Nico Jackson and how he's performed, Darwin Nunes as well, who did amazing in Portugal, but not so fantastic in England. People have been wondering, is the era of the number 9 gone? But I think that's not the case. With guys like Gyökeres on the market, with guys like Benjamin Sesko on the market, people coming up like Hugo Ekitike, there's so many options out there. We just got to find the right one for the right budget. So my call for number 9 for Manchester United, knowing that we're working with 160 million, and also considering the fact that the team still has Xerxes and Hoyland on the books, and I think it will be very, very hard for them to get rid of the both of them, or either just Hoyland. I would probably go for Jonathan David out of Lille as my pick as the new number 9. So before you guys tell me your picks, unless you have the same pick, what do you feel about Jonathan David? Good idea, or am I like off the mark with that one?
So, speaking for David, I mean, fantastic player, fantastic poacher, beautiful scorer of goals, scores a lot of goals. I'm pretty sure he scored 20 plus goals in like the past 4 seasons or like something like that. And the most important thing is he's free. So, yeah, fantastic pick.
Yeah, and that's the biggest draw for me, considering all the issues we have in terms of budgeting and how to allocate spend. I figured that a free agent, at least getting one free agent, would be a good way for us to get a great option and fill up everything else with our budget, more effectively. And in terms of all the free agents that are out there, I think Jonathan David is the best free agent that's going to be available this summer, especially for attacking positions. So Tolu, you're the Man United fan. You're going to be the one giving us the emotional appeal. Who would be your number 9 strike signing for the summer?
I don't know. I feel like I would go all out and get Osimhen, but I'm not entirely sure how realistic it is. I think it would cost about 64, 65 million. But
No,
yeah, that would be my pick.
listen, man, it's your
I'm just
world.
not
You're
entirely
the
sure.
one in charge. And if Osimhen is the guy you want to get, Osimhen is the guy we're
If,
going to
yeah,
give to.
hypothetically.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
are we saying 65M for Osimhen?
I think
I know, is that a
that's the
realistic
figure
number?
I've seen
Yeah,
about.
about
Yeah,
65.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, probably cost about 65 to 70. I know people have
Yeah,
said the problem is
I've
like
heard.
with his wages apparently, but I really don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm not buying it either.
Yeah, that wages thing is a lot of stuff that goes into it. I think
That's right.
partially because Arsenal as well. I'm an Arsenal fan, and Arsenal is a team that's also looking for a striker, and Osimhen is a great option. But I think one of the things about Osimhen, and this might be me buying into the negative hype or like the propaganda on socials, is like I know my coach, Mikel Arteta, is a dictator, so he needs all the boys who are very polite and respectable. Yes, sir. Yes, mister, and they will listen and not try and challenge. The problem is that there was that one time a couple years ago where Osimhen was going back and forth with the Nigerian team coach or whatever. So I think
Oh
you know
yeah.
labels might be following him around. I
Bro,
don't know.
you
Let
wait,
me
wait, wait,
land.
wait, wait, wait.
Let me land.
Okay,
Let me
sure,
land.
sure,
Let me
sure.
land. Let me land. And I get totally, bro. If you coming from me, I understand. I accept it, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's BS propaganda that I'm running with. I have no facts. I don't know anybody. But me, I'm making shit up off of social media, right? And if I had to say why isn't Arsenal going in for Osimhen, looking at all the information presented to me, I don't think it's the wages thing because there's people getting paid 300K in Prem and he's not asking for 300K. I don't think it's the cost of the transfer because 70M is fair for someone of Osimhen's talent. So the only thing that makes sense to me is the personality clash. And maybe Osimhen is the kind of guy that has, the ability to speak for himself. And some coaches want to be dictators and control everything and don't like that kind of voice. I don't know, but that's my take. Anu, go ahead.
So yeah, I actually find it extremely ironic that people are saying a lot of the attitude things with him,
Yeah.
considering with the Yokeres guy, he's literally fighting with the president of his actual club. It's not the national team, it's the club that actually pays him every single week. And
Mm-hmm,
yet I've
mm-hmm.
not heard any problems about his attitude. So I found that a bit funny.
There is the thing. The only difference that I would say is the reason why I would say people aren't really going on Gyökeres for that fighting with his president is because apparently they had a gentleman's agreement, man to man. You did so well for us, scored all these goals, right? Exactly right, gentleman's agreement. But that's the story. You got to pay your story. Victor has to hire better social PR people, the Rashford team, to take care of this stuff because now they leave me. They give me an opportunity to say this kind of things. But Gyökeres' people, they may be like, oh, gentleman's agreement. He just wants to follow his dream, and the evil president just wants to be a money grabber, and because of greed, is up in the price. So that's the story that's out there for Gyökeres right now, and I think that's the thing. But totally, man, Osimhen is a great shout, and if you can get him for 65M on 200K, you're going crazy. You're scoring loads of goals with Victor Osimhen. Not gonna lie, yeah. And who's your striker pick for United?
Sure. So for my striker pick for Man United is Mr. Ollie Watkins from Villa. for £45 million. Premier League proven. People constantly speak about that, right? He is certified Premier League proven. He scored over 10 league goals in the past 7 seasons. 5 of them have come in the Premier League. He turns 30 in December. So I think he still has about 3 more seasons of scoring at a very high level. So I'd say for the price that they'll pay, and I'd say it's a fairly reasonable price, right?
Yeah, it's a great
That's
price.
like, yeah, and I feel like for like 45 mil, that is what one would pay for like an average prem player, right? So the fact that you can actually pay for somebody who like guarantees goals in the best league in the world for that price has to be done.
Especially considering the fact that although it's a different position, but Gerald Kwanzaa, he's moving from Liverpool for apparently for 40M. So if not that much experience, although he is young for 40M, I feel like Ollie Watkins for 40M, 45 is also a good number. But you know what's weird? Arsenal could have gone Ollie Watkins at some point in the last year. And I think low key he might even be available for less, considering the position that him, Unai, and Villa are at. I don't think Ollie Watkins wants to be in Villa that much longer. I think he has the opportunity to go to Arsenal at some point. That didn't pan out, and obviously, with the Marcus Rashford joining the team, him getting more minutes than Ollie, he's gonna probably feel like the coach doesn't rate me as much or sees me as a number 2 guy and not a number 1 guy. So I think Watkins is at that point when he needs to be clearly be that number 1 guy. And I think United is a great option for him. But another thing that's also strange for me is that although Arsenal isn't looking at Ollie Watkins right now, he's probably our 3rd pick for a striker choice. I felt kind of sad when you put him up to join United because I want Watkins to come to Arsenal, even though I don't know where he's going to play or what position he's going to come into because we don't have the crazy budget to just bring in all the attackers. But I feel like Watkins is supposed to be for me. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm running with my own juice. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the one thing the one thing these days rather that really annoys me is when like the top clubs insist on having just one striker. Because I still remember in like before like 2014, a lot of like the top clubs had like 3, 4, 5 really good strikers.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. Like you're a top club, you should have best strikers on your team. Like it's mad to me.
Do you think?
So
Go ahead.
yeah, no.
I was gonna say, do you think the change in formations is what changed that? Because obviously, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 4-4-2 was the mold. Well, like, and in those days, we didn't really count the LM, the left midfielder, the right midfielder as a winger. There was still a traditional midfielder that had to, like, make go forward and back, help defend, assist the guys in the center to cover up space and things like that. So you needed those 2 strikers that would, take a lot of the attack, one big, one small, that kind of pairing. So like when we moved into the 4-3-3, and then you had to be, it was all about the wingers. If you had the best wingers, you were gonna win that game in that 4-3-3. So I think now obviously the game is transitioning to that winger mold. And I think slowly we're coming back into the striker thing because now people aren't even using wingers as wingers anymore. They want to put an attacking midfielder in the left wing to come in and create or come in and get the shot off. So, and Ollie Watkins in that left wing, inside forward, is a great move. It's a great move. So obviously,
yeah,
yeah,
and like 100% the change in like the formations has like played a huge part. 100%. So, and I can see why that would, but I still don't see why. Sure. So from like the 4-4-2 days where the teams would have like 5 strikers, right? So now
yeah.
with like the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, at least have 2 or 3, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
certain teams have 1 striker. It's mad to me.
Yeah,
And
I honestly, I look, you got 1 striker, which is crazy.
exactly what I'm saying. And for a team like Arsenal, bro, you should have so many strikers that I don't even know half of them. Straight up. Like it's crazy to me. So and like the fact that like the top teams play like 50, 60 games a season, it makes no sense. Spend all your money on goals, please.
Then let me bring one thing up. So we're talking about spending money on goals. Why didn't any of us say Gyökeres to United? Because I feel like with the rumored Amorim correct connection, And I feel like he's probably going to go for somewhere around that Osimhen price of 65, 70 M. He's scored over 100 goals in 2 years for Sporting. Although it's not the biggest league, you know he's going to score 15 to 20 goals in the Premier League for sure. Why not Gyökeres? Why are we going for Gyökeres for United, guys?
So the problem with me for Victor is, yes, he's playing in a slightly inferior league, of course, but also from the scouting I've done, it's just the goals he scored, he won't be able to score them in the Premier League because a lot of the time he's like super physical over there. And in the Prem, a lot of the players can match that. So he won't be able to have that huge advantage in the Premier League. But also, from like the 100 goals, apparently he scored like 3 headers or some shit. So, yeah, no.
Well, that's crazy because I would expect it to be like a fox in the box, a monster just like booming that shit down with his head, bro. And that's what I would have thought. But 3 goals out of 100? I know a lot of his goals are like in behind, very scruffy, PMP, boom, 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 pow, kind of goals. I didn't really say anything tactically. You guys know what I'm talking about.
yes, bro. And like the crazy thing is when you compare him to like an awesome man, right? You can tell that the physicality for the Nigerian striker is clearly far superior to the Swedish guy. Yet everyone is trying to buy the Swedish guy. Which, look, I don't get why people aren't trying to buy the striker that's clearly the best guy on the market. It makes no sense to me. I know a lot of people are saying that because of like the PR and stuff. I'm like, bro, the only reason he left that team is because they racially abused him. His own team did.
Napoli,
So
right? You're talking about Napoli,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So it's wasn't a question of like his attitude or anything like that. He played, he scored, he literally won them a league by his damn self. So it's like, in terms of his character, there should be no question whatsoever. But I'm not trying to play like the race card or anything like that, but undoubtedly it plays a part.
Truly, it does. I think Tolu, do you want to add anything before we continue?
Yeah, I didn't really consider Gyökeres because he has a preference. Apparently, he would rather join us now, from the reports I've been hearing.
I don't know. All the stuff I see on socials, I don't know what to believe, man. Everyone's just trying to
True.
move their agenda and stuff. Like I don't know. Even when because I'm seeing Arsenal are in for Gyökeres and Sesko. In my football manager head, I'm like, wow, imagine we sign both of them. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen, right? But imagine, right? But yeah, man, Gyökeres, I think he just has very, very good PR right now. The only thing that's stopping him from making the move is because of what Darwin Nunez has done in England. Honestly, truly, that's what I feel. If Darwin lit the league up, scored like probably hit the bar half as many times, Gyökeres would be in here in no time. But yeah, go ahead, Anu.
So right before we move on, right? The one thing that really has been really annoying me for like the past few years is I feel like now a lot of the clubs like they sign players based on what like the media will think. And I'm like, bro, who gives a fuck about the journos, man? Like, it's crazy to me. Like, bro, the journos will never be on the pitch with you. It's mad. Like, why do you care about like the people at the fucking Athletic? Like, straight up, it's insane. Like, they're all dorks.
You have a
Buy the
great
person who
point.
scores goals.
You have a great point. And I'm thinking about it a long
Yeah.
time. Like all these players, like for example, let's look at Hoyland, right? Hoyland, I don't think is a bad player. Obviously, he's not having the best time at United. But I believe like Hoyland is kind of player that, at some point he'll be able to find his balance and start banging in goals. All these guys that are playing at the Premier League level are top football players. The competition and like is very, very tight and the margins are so slim. So it's a thing like when you're signing a player, right? Although the player is good, because the margin is so small, and you're like, bro, this guy could go either way. He could bang for us, or he could really just flop and not really hit it off. You've seen the likes of like, and was it Jokic, Nikola Jokic that used to play for Eintracht that went to Real Madrid and that didn't work out, or the Timo Werners of the world. If you know that, okay, these players can 50-50 bang or not bang, at least, at the very least, let's get the PR on our side. I think that's the way they're going with it, all these clubs. They're trying to go like risk mitigation on all sides. The PR side, the sporting side, the ads and the branding side. They're trying to go for the most risk averse option. And if they have two options that are like 50-50, 50-50, let's go with the PR one. Because at least that one we have the PR and we'll get the likes and the subscriptions and the people will buy our gear. That's what I think. Football isn't a
No,
sporting
yeah.
endeavor
Yes,
anymore.
yes.
They got to take care of business, and they're always going to consider business. And I
Mm-hmm.
fear because Napoli's president De Laurentiis, good, happy for them right now they're winning, but I feel like De Laurentiis is a kind of a guy that if he has beef with a player like Osimhen, he will do what he can in his power to affect Osimhen's life negatively. And I feel like this might be some of that playing a part PR wise. Obviously, we don't know. It's all speculation. But all these guys are making their millions. They'll be just fine. They'll find a club and they'll be okay. So that was the striker edition of it. So far, we've already spent maybe a quarter, depending on who's looking. Tolu has spent 65M. Aanu has spent 45. I've spent 0 on Jonathan David. So right now, our higher ups are the board is happy with me because they're like, wow, this is a manager that knows how to allocate funds well. These guys are already clearing out the cash, blowing 65M on Osimhen. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but let's keep going. So obviously we've talked about the number 9. We're moving on into the number 10 position, which is super, super, super critical for Manchester United. So obviously everyone knows Ruben Amorim's formation. Even if you don't watch ball, you know his formation of 3-4-3. He's told us that this is the formation he's going to use. He's sticking with it, and he's not going back. Clearly, after the end of the season, the team had a lot of issues in implementing the 3-4-3 effectively. I'm not saying the formation is a bad formation. It has a lot of positives in terms of defensive cover. You have access to the width. Very easy to make your triangles and build up, but you need the right tools. And anyone will tell you, Pep will tell you first, if you don't have your performers, the players who can like do the role exactly to a T what you need, that little margin that they cannot complete or match up to is what will lose you the game. So for the number 10 position, um, I took a long time thinking about this, and although there's been a lot of shouts already because they've already signed Matheus Cunha from Wolves, which is a fantastic signing, an amazing player, great attacker. The only question mark for me with him is the attitude thing. But at the end of the day, you need ego to perform at the top level. So I think he's going to bang a lot of goals and assists, but he's going to get a few red cards here or there. So, if you're going to put a bet in on 2 red cards this season, or 2 red cards for him this season, I think you should go in for that. You might get your money back. Um, but my pick for another number 10 for Manchester United would be Eberechi Eze for 70 million. That is who I'm thinking that Man United should go for. Obviously, the way I'm looking at it is, although they're playing 3-4-3 now, things change, personnel change, the coach may change, and I want a player that can play in more than one position. And although he will excel in the number 10, if he needs to go on the wing, Eberechi Eze can do a fantastic job on the wing. Obviously, he's just had a fantastic season with Crystal Palace. They made it into the Europa League. They do have some issues in terms of registering for the Europa League. Not many people may know, but one of their majority owners also has another team. I believe that's John Textor. He also has another team in Lyon. And if both teams are in the same competition with the same ownership, that can work under UEFA rules. So I think right now they're trying to find a solution. But hopefully Crystal Palace can get it sorted and they can be able to participate in the Europa League because that is really big for them. They're not one of the biggest London clubs, but this would be a really, big thing for them and their fans. So hopefully that works out. But yeah, Eberechi Eze was very, very instrumental in bringing them up to this position in winning the FA Cup. When Mikel Olise left, I was super worried for them because Olise was obviously a really big part of their attack. And I was like, oh, Eze alone, would he be able to carry and take care of things? But they've done a good job with the coach in Glasner, the striker in Mateta, and the attacking midfielder in Eze. They've been fantastic. But to take Eze out of Crystal Palace, honestly, I don't think 70M would be enough. But 70M is what I'm willing to pay. And hopefully we can do a deal with Crystal Palace and they'll let us get my attacking midfielder, Eberechi Eze. Tolu, who would you go for your number 10 for Man United?
Xavi Simons,
Mm.
that from Leipzig.
Like, how much were you thinking?
Oh wait, hold on. I have to like adjust for inflation, right? So it's 50, 55, 55,
Mm.
55.
You think Xavi Simons is coming out of RB Leipzig for 55M?
Or oh, 60, 50 to 60. I don't know.
Hey man, it's
where,
young.
where should we leave it at?
Because not gonna lie, because I feel like they would ask for 70M for Xavi
I
Simons.
think it'll cost more.
Well, I think realistically, 55 is the right price. I believe it's the right price. But the problem with
Same
football now is that like they're gonna want to up that price off of like what he could be because he's
in
young.
the future.
Yeah, he's a top talent. So here's the thing. I know about this kind of format for the episode, right? Would we stick with 55 because that's the price that he wants to pay, or would we have to consider economic factors and buff that price for what's actually gonna
Yeah. I
happen?
mean, you want to make it as like realistic as possible, right?
We do,
So
but like it's our world.
I think we need to keep it simple.
Elaborate, please.
So that would mean regarding like the variables in the format, they need to be as few as possible. So regarding the economic factors per se, we do choose to add that. That might make it slightly too complicated.
All right, so let's keep it simple. If Tolu says he wants to put 55 for Xavi Simons, we'll go with 55. At the end of the day, we really don't know what's going to happen. It's less about the money, I would imagine, but more about the profiles and the players that we think will help Man United get to where they need to go. So we're going to put 55 down for Xavi Simons, and I think that's a fantastic shout. In terms of all the number 10s that are out there, I think Xavi Simons is probably one of the best ones there. Why do you like him a lot, Tolu?
How do I put it? Say dynamism, I guess. In short.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yes, he is most likely. Yeah.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say, Tolu? Keep going. Sorry.
He's like one of the most promising players in his position, like in his generation. I mean, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because like while I was thinking of this segment, I couldn't really. No one else crossed my mind, and I bet there's other guys, but
I mean, there are a ton of other guys, but if people, look in the market, who's the most promising number 10 that's available? More time, you'll say Xavi Simons.
Oh yeah, I would have said Eze as well. Well, if it came to it.
Who do you think is better, Eze or Xavi?
Probably Eze simply because he's like
right now
playing at a higher level right now. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Improving tax as well. You have to always pick that in. I know you're gonna add something as well when we're talking about Xavi Simons. What are you gonna say?
No, yeah, because actually, that is my pick as well. Same as my family. Yes, yes, Mr. Xavi Simons. He actually just what?
I was like, you know what they say, great minds think alike.
Exactly. No, and it's so funny because actually it's not the first time it's happened with us, but no. Mr. Simmons just turned 22 in April, so he's still a very young man. He has requested to leave Leipzig this summer, which should take the price down somewhat. Yes, because Leipzig did not qualify for the UCL next season, so he would like to play in the Champions League. The price that I would pay for Xavi would be 50 million, simply because I know he would like to leave. So that would make it very hard for his club to keep him, of course. He has 28 caps for the Netherlands already at 22. He's had 72 goal involvements in the past 3 seasons, 43 goals, 29 assists. What I personally like about him is he's a great dribbler, great passer of the ball, loves a 1-2 pass, loves a long shot as well, as we saw in his goal versus the English in the Euros. So yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal player, man. He's a phenomenal player. And what people tend to not really see is he is also super physical as well, you know. So I think per se he does move to Man United and he plays in the Prem for like 2 3 seasons. I'd say by the time he's like 24, 25, would probably be the best player in the Premier League.
Wow, that's a big shout.
Big shout.
And one thing I will say about him joining United system in that 3-4-3, he would probably come in playing as that, one of those number 10s behind the striker. But because of his versatility and that physicality that you brought up, he could be molded into one of those 2 8s as well if the need arises for the team. So I think that's a very, very good option for United. He could play in a lot of positions. Definitely has so much, what's the word I'm looking for? Upside in terms of where his talent could go. And although the biggest obstacle I would think with that transfer is the fact that United don't have Champions League football, but it's Manchester United. And if he's one of the players that brings them back, that would like catapult him in stratosphere in terms of history and how people look at him. So it's not a bad move at all for Xavi Simons. So I think right now the attackers that we've talked about, Eberechi, not the attackers, but attacking midfielders will be Eberechi Eze and Xavi Simons. And I think either of those players would be a fantastic number 10 for United. I'm also surprised that we didn't say Brandon Buemo. I was going to say Brandon Buemo, but I was like, nah, let me go for someone else because I figured the other guys will bring up Brandon Buemo. I don't think he's going to go United. What do you think, Anu?
So the thing with Mbuemo is I don't know how they plan on using him. So I know he can play as a 10, he can play as a striker, can play off the wing. Since they won't be playing any wingers, at least till they fire the current manager. So he probably won't play on the wing until like Christmas at the very least. So but the thing that's really scared me is with the Mbeumo thing is I'm hearing from like the United fan base that he can play wing back and shit. And I'm like, bro, dude scored 20 Premier League goals last season. The last thing he ever needs to do is play a wing back. But yeah. So for his sake and for his career, I certainly hope that he won't go to Man United, but at the same time, the other option is Spurs, and Spurs is like a plantation in it. So would he really want to go to the plantation? Probably not.
I don't think Spurs is a bad shot for him. Although I'm still mad.
Bro. He still has to do with Levy though. All right. So
I think this might be a new era in Levy. I think I watched a recent I was watching a football show on YouTube and they had like little clips from an interview he did after sacking Ange. And although I agree, you guys have watched you've heard of Scrooge, right? In Charles Dickens like Christmas Tale or whatever. That's like Daniel Levy. But I think he's had his, ghost of Christmas past come to visit him and stuff. He's seen it all. He's had his Mourinho situation. He's had his Conte situation. And with Ange, he was able to get that trophy. They have this big stadium. They have an amazing wage bill. I think they're at that point in time where they've created the foundation to really catapult them up. Make no mistake, I want Tottenham to have a terrible season. Down with Tottenham. But I honestly feel like Thomas Frank, I still disagree with Ange because the romantic choice for me was for them to continue with him. But the educated and the good decision to bring in Thomas Frank, I can't hit on that. Fantastic coach that will take them up a level. And that Frank and the Buemo connection would be good. I think Buemo wouldn't mind going to Tottenham. It's a bigger club than Brentford. He'll make more money. It's a London club, so it's comfortable for him and his family. Same coach. And I really do feel like they'll have upward trajectory if they make the right moves. But you're right, though. It's all about Daniel Levy and the choices he makes moving forward. If he reinvests in the team the right way, like he didn't do with Pochettino all those years ago, if he repeats that, then it's not looking good. But if he doesn't, I feel like Mbeumo can play Tottenham for 2 or 3 years, get him moved to Germany and make some money over there. I think there's options out there. It's not the end of the world. Because the Man U move isn't a sure bet. Like, listen, although I don't, we were saying it before we started recording, I don't like United as an Arsenal fan. But at the same time, we don't want United to remember who they are. So with that Mbeumo move to United, it could go 50-50. They could become that top club again, or they could really languish for another season and Ruben gets fired by December. It's very 50-50. The surer bet for Mbuemo, in my opinion, is Tottenham. So, how do you feel about Mbuemo? Do you want him at United?
Uh, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, he scored 20 goals. Who wouldn't? But it's like, where exactly is he going to fit? And there's also this thing with this dude Ahmad,
Yeah.
where it's like I'm hearing that Mbeumo might play in the like right attacking midfield position,
Mm-hmm.
right behind. So that forces it will force Ahmad to right. I think right wing back, which I
Yeah.
think he can play at because of his like physique and how often he wins the ball back. But I don't know, like if it will work. It sounds good in theory, but it like
Me personally, I don't mind Mbuemo to play, although
yeah,
it sounds sacrilegious. It sounds sacrilegious to say, "Oh, Mbuemo wing back," but I think for those
no,
positions of wait, let me land. For those positions of right attacking mid, right wing back, striker, for that like right corner of the field, it's all about plugging and playing your pieces. I'm not saying Mbuemo needs to be the starting right wing back. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that in some formations they can rotate and like operate in those same zones. You know? So Amad Diallo, Mbuemo, for me, they feel like a similar profile in a way. Because somebody might feel upset by that statement. I feel like two of them are a similar profile in a way and they could play with each other, but they could also compete for the same places. And if United really want to go back to a top six, top four side, competition is what you need.
bro.
Yeah, right wing back sometimes, maybe like you play right wing back like two times over the course of the season for me.
20
As
goals, bro.
you the other 36 games you play in right attacking mid, but when we're facing an Arsenal and we need to
For
double
like
up on wingers,
tactical, I okay, yeah.
a tactical solution in some games. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Plug and play. It's chess. Football is all chess now these days, bro. We've lost all that romanticism. Like, okay, guys, go out there and win us the game. That doesn't happen no more. It's like, okay, so you have to double up. When you come inside, you and Amadu follow Martinelli. Oh my God, that's just ball now. But attacking midfielders for United, Eberechi Eze and Brandon Buemo. Next, we're going to look at the number 8. So currently, United obviously have the 3 center backs, and then they have the line of 4 in front of them, 2 wing backs and 2 CMs. Obviously, with the CMs, it's kind of like a double pivot kind of vibe. But obviously, typically, there's one that's more attacking and one that's more defensive. I'm looking at it from the position of a more defensive option. Well, obviously, someone like can still go both ways. That can still help the attack, but it's more surer from a defensive POV. Because I feel that that's what United need in that position. People who can lock it up defensively so that the wing backs can move forward and support. I thought about this long and hard, and my choice, um, it's a Napoli player, and I was really stuck between two players for Napoli. But the one that I decided to bring out for Napoli for Manchester United would be Lobotka, the defensive midfielder for Napoli. Obviously, he's played there for a lot of years now. Very successful Serie A career so far. I believe he's won 2 Scudettos, so obviously he's won a lot. It would be a tough ask for him to want to leave Napoli, who's just left the league, won the league, to come to United. But if the money is right, anybody will be tempted. One thing I know about Napoli contracts, De Laurentiis does not pay his players a lot. So it's not going to be hard
Mm.
for United to double his salary or, give him a significant pay rise and tempt him to come to Old Trafford. So I really see Lobotka as a great option for 30 million. I think he would definitely come to Manchester United for 30 million. I was in between him and Anguissa, but I decided to go for Lobotka because I feel he's a better defensive midfielder than Anguissa, who I feel is more of a box-to-box kind of player. So who do you have for number 8 for United?
Um, Budawi, CM at I think Nice. Is that Nice, right? Yes.
Which player?
So Hicham Budawi.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of this guy. What do you? I mean, you've heard
Yeah,
of him?
so, yeah. He's I made this pick because it was low hanging fruit, basically. Also because the club may or may not be cash strapped in a sense. So
Mm-hmm.
he's going to cost maybe just like 20 to 25 million. And there's the fact that Nice is owned by Ineos slash Jim Ratcliffe. So
Yeah.
it will be easy to like make that happen. And apparently they are scouting him like actively.
Okay.
Like as of like some days ago. So I don't know if it will happen this season or how advanced it is, but cause
Wait.
and yeah, there's
So
also the thing with the boys.
no, yeah. Say his last name one more time.
Boudaoui, Boua Boui. I think. Wait, hold on.
And I'm
And
like, oh, I need to do some research.
wait,
Same.
and he plays for Nice.
Yeah, he plays for Nice and the Algerian national team.
He might have left. Okay, got you. Found him.
Oh,
Who is
okay.
he?
Yeah.
Please put
Yeah,
me
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Because I'm like,
Okay. Yes. So his name is Hicham Boudaoui. So that's Boudaoui. First name Hicham. 25 years old, turns
oh,
26.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Richard
yeah.
Udawi.
Yeah. So
嗯
25 years old, turns 26 in September.
Proper scouting from Tolu here. This is what I like to see. This is the Brighton model coming up. We ain't got to go for the big names. We're looking at what was a stats driven model. Yes, I know.
So I do have to ask, why exactly is he like your pick? And it's not from a financial perspective. It's more from how he plays, I guess.
Kind of a gamble still, but I was trying to make like pick a player that would fit the profile of like someone who could alternate between 6 and 8
Mm-hmm.
box to box in a sense, like passing, tackling, winning the ball back, and being able to like set up attacks as well. I haven't seen enough of him still, scouting myself, but
No.
that
And like
yeah.
frankly speaking, it's a very good pick. There are very few times that I've been stumped by a certain player pick. Frankly
I thought
speaking,
this would be like
it's
one of
probably
those
never happened
hipster
before.
ones that everyone would know.
No, no,
Wow, it's
no,
hipster
no.
too. There's levels to this shit,
So
apparently.
no, bro. Like straight up, I really love the pick. I really like the pick Tolu. So no problem at all. For my pick actually, since we're on the number eights, my pick is Mr. Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart. He plays as a
Killer.
six. He came from the Bayern Academy. I'm pretty sure he turns 25 later this year. He's a high volume passer, high volume tackler as well. Super physical player. Plays a lot of games. He's played 30 plus league games in the past 2 seasons. So he is somebody who is hardly ever hurt, plays a lot of games, smart player, somebody who knows how to keep the ball, which I find that United might need. I found that
Right?
they're yeah, they will they will certainly need. I found that their midfielders, apart from Menu, they don't really know how to keep the ball that well. So they need a lot more of those players. So my pick is Mr. Angelo Stiller for 50 million.
Still for 50M. So before we move on to the last position of right wing back, we should look into our budget so far. So Tolu has spent 65 plus 55 and another 25, 65 on Osimhen plus 55 for Xavi Simons and
Okay, so it's more
25
than 20.
for the OGC
One,
um,
four, five.
number 6. So that means so
So
far
that's like 135, right?
135. Yes, you are correct. So you only have about 25M left for a right wing back. That's not bad at all. Tolu, you spent 50. You spent 45 on Watkins, 50 for Xavi, and how much for Stiller? Another 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're at 145 as well. 145. So not that much room left. Um, I was a free on Jonathan David, 70 for Eze, and 30 for Lobotka. So I have 100. But I probably won't spend up to 160 because my players, I feel it would probably take bigger salaries. Um, Maybe not Eze so much, but definitely David will want a big salary. Lobotka is going to want a big salary as well. So now we're on the last part of it where we're going to talk about the right wing back position. Personally, I had a hard time picking one up, but we should first look at what currently available for United in their wing back positions. So for left wing back, they have Patrick Dogu, who they recently just got in. Luke Shaw, if he's fit, can also play there. And Mazarawi, although he's a right wing back, can also play on the left wing back position as well. For right wing back, they have Diogo Dalot, who honestly I don't think is up to the level anymore, as well as Mazarawi. I like Mazarawi. I've seen some good games from him, so I want to persist with him. Um, so my pick for right wing back will be Vanderson from Monaco. The reason why I go with Vanderson, personally from Monaco, is he doesn't really have a lot of hype on his name. I think he's just one of those guys that is a good, steady Eddie professional. I need somebody who is, lots of stamina, lots of energy, good defensively, defensive actions, and can whip in a good ball for a cross or for an assist from the right position of the field. Um, he's not starting right back for Monaco any longer because of the way they've changed the formation, but I like him a lot as a player, and he's very, very affordable for about 20 million. So that will leave my spending at 120. But remember, I'm going to be able to pay a lot of salaries, so that's how my team's going to set up. But yeah, Vanderson is going to be my pick for right wing back. So who do you go for right wing back?
I was going to pick Vanderson as well.
What? That's crazy. But yeah, I love to see it. How much are you paying for Vanderson?
Same, I was going, 20.
Yeah, I mean, you
This is
still have
like
5 million
based
left.
on.
Yeah.
I made it.
Yeah, you made it. It was a perfect
was
one. And
like,
that 5 million, you could put on agent fees. You could send some money to somebody's parents. You know how these transfers be going. Yo, I'm telling you, Florian Wirtz, man, they paid his parents 10M. And listen, I'm not mad. But like,
oh,
yeah, his parents got a 10M check for the deal. So like, you know what? He's taking care of his family. Everybody's good. But transfers these days, man, a lot goes into it. I know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
bro. And no, yeah, and like the same thing happened for Haaland as well. I'm pretty sure his dad got 40 mil.
That's crazy. That's
crazy.
crazy, man. I'm like, how is this okay? You know, I guess the rules allow it somehow, but I'm surprised that that's allowed. But yeah, if you're a top talent, people are gonna pay over the odds, and they're gonna settle your parents. Like Nigeria, be like, oh, you have to settle my people. You gotta settle their people. And who do you go for the right wing back pick for Manchester United?
Yeah, so my right wing back pick is Mr. Kyle Walker Peters on a free transfer. Mr. Walker Peters is still 28 years old, turned 28 in April. He's played over 30 league games in the past 5 seasons, including last season where he played 33 times. So solid, never gets injured, can play as a normal right back, can play as a wing back as well, can probably play as a left wing back too. So just for the value for the money, and I'm pretty sure for like the salary, he probably won't be earning slightly more than like 150K a week, right? So
not even 100.
speaking, yeah. So speaking relatively, he should be earning pretty little compared to the rest of the squad over there. So yeah, my pick, Kyle Walker Peters.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of the rebuild. So with our picks, so Anu, your picks, let's go through all of them again one at a time, and we'll see if the team that we've assembled is good enough to be a top 16. So for your striker, remind me again, you had Watkins for striker,
Yes.
Xavi Simons as the attacking midfielder, Your number 8 was Stiller, and you
Still,
had Kyle Walker Peters as your right wing back.
yeah.
Not bad, not bad. That sounds like a top 16 for me. Top 4 is going to be very tight. Honestly, we can't really make those predictions anymore. The league is definitely a top 6 league now. So, like, I do like the team. They're very competitive. What are you going to say? And were you gonna say something? Are you good? Okay. So that was Anu's roundup. Tolu's roundup for striker, he had Victor Osimhen, which I think would look great in the Manchester United jersey. That would look very nice. Victor Osimhen, number 9. I would like to see that. You had Xavi Simons as well, also very, very good. For number 6, you had Budai, I believe, what's his name, from
Budai,
OGC.
Budawi, Budai,
Budawi.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We got to work on our pronunciations. I got to go look that up. But
It's
Budawi,
probably Budai.
yeah,
Some,
Budai,
some, some,
Budawi, something like
some,
that.
some, something like that.
Yeah, and then Vanderson as wing back. I like your picks. I think you low key. I was gonna say I like your picks more than Anu's, but I think the number 6 for Anu, I prefer his. But I think yours is very,
Ah,
very competitive overall. Yours is super competitive
oh
overall.
yeah, but on that about that deal, it most likely won't happen. Well, sorry, it won't happen until it can't happen until deadline day because of Jim Ratcliffe's. There's some sort of regulation. There's
Um,
around a conflict of interest because he owns or co-owns both
both
clubs.
teams.
So it
Yeah,
won't be
bro.
able to
Come
happen
on,
until like deadline day, I think.
bro.
But
Clearly, that move's never happening.
never happening.
But I do like the idea of it still. And yeah, frankly,
It sounds good.
oh yeah, sounds great. It sounds
Like a
fantastic. And
conservative, cost-effective option.
Yeah.
yes, and it sounds very much like a Sir Jim move. So
That's
I actually can't see why you picked him, but I think just from like
reality. Sorry.
yes, as well as like the conflict of interest, I really don't think like UEFA would let that deal happen either. So yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't really trust you
Oh,
if I
at all?
no, because
Huh.
I still remember when Sir Jim first bought you guys, you were trying to buy Todibo, right, from
Mhm.
Nice, but
Yeah.
he ended up going to West Ham, and I'm fairly sure the reason he did not go to Man United is because you have the same owners. So
Well,
Yikes.
well, the things
mhm.
with football, with the top bodies, I'm losing more and more faith with the FIFA and the UEFA's of the world. I feel like if you have the right connections, you grease the right palms, anything can happen.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
oh yeah,
So
of course,
can't rule nothing out.
yeah.
And to finish with my side, I got Jonathan David for on a free, but he's gonna want some kind of sign-on bonus, maybe 10M to his parents as well, plus at least 250K a week because he's coming as a free agent. I also pulled it Eberechi Eze for 70M, as well as Lobotka for 30 billion in the midfield. I had to finish off with Anderson for 20-25M. So I was 125. Um, my team, I think it'll be a good team, maybe a good 6th in the league. But like, although I picked Jonathan David for United for because it's a good deal financially, I'm not really in love with him as a Premier League striker.
Like, bro, it's so crazy how people talk about the Premier League and like scoring goals. And I know, yeah, it's not like the easiest thing, but I still remember when like a certain Grant Holt scored like 12 Premier League goals. So look, I know it's hard, but it's not that hard,
You
okay?
know what changed? You know
Really
what's really
speaking.
hard now? Is the low blocks, man. It's like 12 teams will do low blocks all game long. And the low blocks are so nasty in Prem, bro. They're so good at it. I'm talking
Yeah.
from so like unless you're playing at like a lower level team where it's like very you know what? Jonathan David might really bang at United going into the season. The reason why I say so is because like
Yeah,
people are not gonna do low blocks on United.
exactly.
They're
So
gonna
much
feel like
space to
they
run
have a chance.
into.
They're gonna feel like they have a chance. So because of that, United's gonna have a lot of games where they're
Mm.
gonna score some goals. So you know what? I changed my mind. It's all about the team, the placement, who you're facing. But yeah, they're not going to be playing low blocks all the time, United, because people are going to feel like they have a chance and they will attack them. Yeah, Anu?
Yeah. The last thing for the striker pick, it really should be David, because, bro, he's free of charge. Like, makes
Yeah,
no sense that, bro, he's not even on the list.
at
What is the
all. It's
sporting
crazy
director actually doing? What is the sporting director actually doing? Because, like,
looking
it's
at
so
that
crazy to me
country.
how, yeah, and like, bro, excuse me, with the with the Jokeris thing, right?
Yeah,
Like, that is almost certain to be a flop if he goes to United. Like, it is almost a certainty that he will
it's
flop
definitely a
at
Hoyland
Man
2.0
United.
kind of thing. It looks very much like Hoyland.
Yes, bro, yes, and it's like, you, for me, like, the perfect move for like a Jokeres would be like to like a PSG or something like that, right? Like, for me, that's like the perfect move for him in
Me
terms of
personally,
like
I'm sending him to
the
Liverpool.
level of the team.
I'm sending him to Liverpool.
Bro, he's not good enough for Liverpool.
He will
Like,
tear it
straight
up.
up,
He will
bro.
score 30 goals for Liverpool.
Facts. But like, compare Gyökeres to like a Jota, right? Every single day of the year, you are picking Jota, bro. Every single day.
No, no,
No,
no.
straight up, dead
Bro, Jota is the
ass.
better football player. Listen, I'll say it like this. Let's say we're gonna go play five aside.
Wow.
Let me say this. We're
Okay.
gonna go play five aside, right? I'm picking Jota all day
Mhm.
for my five aside team because I know he's gonna cook. He's gonna assist. He's gonna score goals. Jogo Bonito, I know. But I'm talking Wednesday night. We're going to fucking Stockport County for Carabao Cup, game. I'm going Gyökeres for the long
Bro,
run
you
because
could
he
score
just has
against
that
Stockport
dog.
if you needed to.
He's got that dog in him, bro. And plus this too, bro. This shit's hard. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's the thing that's pulling me into Gyökeres is like this P, bro. He's gonna
Bro,
bounce so many goals. It's gonna be
I can't
crazy.
pay 60M for a Selly. Sorry, man.
Bro,
Bro,
celebration tax,
can
man,
so
is
easily just
part
play
of it.
FIFA for the Selly. If I didn't see the Selly, man, I'll just play FIFA, man.
Celebration tax is part of it, bro. Oh man, it's
Yeah,
funny because I'm not picking Gyökeres for Arsenal as my first pick, but I still feel like
yeah.
he's a top talent.
No,
Ben,
yeah, facts. And look, like, for me, like, per se, he moves to Arsenal, he will score goals because he scored goals in the championship. So
yeah,
it's not like a question of like him scoring goals. It's just, I really don't think people realize the limitations he has, right? Because
yeah,
he's not like super technical.
yeah.
He's not fantastic with his head either. He's pretty 1 foot dominant. So it's like there are a lot of ways to stop this guy, man.
Facts. Well, we won't know till we know. The transfer window is just halfway through. At least we're in the second half of the transfer window rather than the halfway through. Rather, but it's not going to end till August. The FIFA Club World Cup is still going on. All the teams are still negotiating. Arsenal is still monitoring, observing, liking, following, checking, tracking all these players. But we're gonna have to wait and see who's gonna make those moves. But obviously, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you, Anu, for another episode.
Yeah,
Please,
anytime.
guys, like and comment on anything you agree or disagree with. We want to know how you guys feel about our takes. And obviously, we want to use that opportunity to always improve. Please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified on the next episode, where we'll be discussing where Marcus Rashford should go to next summer. Have a great, not next summer, should go to this summer and play there next season. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you.